get this thing kicked off here. I do have a couple of topics I want to share with you guys after we hear from our core partners. And so probably won't take too much time, depending on how long Jonathan talks. But
Ah,
we'll we'll let Dawn go ahead and kick things off for us, if you will.
all righty. And I always keep it short and sweet. First of all, hey, everybody. I hope you're out enjoying this gorgeous weather because it's
Yes,
finally spring. So,
yes.
yay for that. But I just have one quick update. We're going to have another insurance Zoominar on April 20th at 2 p.m. And I'm not sure what the topic is going to be. I think it's going to be different types of insurance. And once we get that all worked out, I'll have Stacia send a flyer and an invite. And I hope I see all your beautiful smiling faces on the Zoominar. So that's all I have. Just thank you for sending business to me and keep doing what you're doing.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So April 20th, you said, right?
Yes, at 2 o'clock.
Okay, just make a note here. I want to make sure that I keep an eye out for that. We've had so many Zoominars coming up and happening. This spring, it's gotten really, really active with Zoom. So it's hard to spend so much time staring at a computer screen slash camera, but the information that comes out of these is well worth it. So I love it when they're recorded and you can just sit down at midnight and watch the replay. So that's my favorite way. So very cool. Brian, how's
Hey,
how's business at
so
Sage, my friend?
it's great. It's great. Like I said, I was out there yesterday with Evelyn, and we'll be out there this afternoon with you. And then Evelyn next week has two more closings, so you're on fire, Evelyn. My gosh. Uh, so speaking of classes, we do have this one coming up. We've been getting a lot of emails from Jeff Detweiler on security. Don't click here and click there. I don't know if you all get those, but we get them. And this is going to be on wire fraud, which is really rampant. And I looked into some information. It told me that $1.8 billion was lost to business email compromise in 2020. Now, in the real estate sector, it said that 13,638 victims had wire fraud from real estate, which totaled $213 million. Isn't that crazy? So a lot of this is awareness. We got these mouse pads here. Think before you click. So, so it's just crazy out there that these criminals are trying to get our real estate deals. So we're trying to make you all aware. And with this class, they're going to uncover some new tactics of the fraudsters. So please register if you want to. It's the 21st, 1 o'clock, a free CE. So I think it's timely because it's just out there like crazy. We don't know what to click on here. We're getting things like it says, click on your loan package is ready. I mean, they're trying to trick us like crazy right now. So we just have to be on the guard. And luckily, we've been really good at not having losses through wire fraud, knock on wood. But every transaction is so they're just getting better and better. The grammar used to be bad, but now it looks good. They're taking logos and they're even falsifying payoffs where they'll try and send us a payoff that looks legit, but when you call the number, it's nowhere near a bank. I mean, it's just crazy. So that's why we always have to get a written payoff and an oral payoff. But they're just trying all kinds of things. So we're just trying to stay in the forefront of it. I wanted to thank some of the agents that used us in March. We had a great March, let me tell you. Just wrote down some names: Evelyn, David Maddox, Jason Everett, Soren Dudley, Jason Gooden, Josh Gooden. I think Julie Sell used Shaheen. Marvella, you might have used Shaheen, which all counts for capture. So thank you very much. It was a great month. So off the charts. So thank you.
That's awesome, man. It's so much better, when you have core partners that where the communication is really efficient, and we can work together as a team. So I think it's one of our greatest value propositions, and that's a good reminder on the wire fraud thing. I've always made it a priority of mine when I'm talking to a potential buyer or seller to emphasize, how dangerous wire fraud is right now, and how these scammers are just sitting in our email accounts waiting for the opportune moment to send that fake email out. And so I always tell buyers and sellers that I will never, ever, ever email you wiring instructions. So if you see something, say something, because it's not legitimate. And so I encourage and ask everyone to do that. Make sure that you let people know that they should check and double check before they start sending money around. It's really, really important. So thank you, Brian. We'll see you in a few hours, my friend.
Yeah, thank you.
So, hey, John, you got a couple minutes for us?
Sure, of course. Good morning, or I guess good afternoon, everybody. I'll be quick, and thanks for your message, Linda. It's funny, I got the email up and I sent it here after I get off this call. Happy to, yeah. Don't ever hesitate if you're waiting on something from me. This is for everybody. Call me or Zoom me and show me the whiteboard, either one. Because you know how Linda, I love Linda says, "Oh, you must be in the alligators." I've never heard that before, but I think that's hilarious. I feel like that all the time. It's constantly like I'm making eggs and I'm trying to just keep the eggs moving around the pan without them burning. I don't know if you ever feel like that, but that's kind of what my day's like. So if you're waiting for something from me, we're a big family, so you don't think you're bothering me, call me. Don't text me. Don't email me. If you need something from me right now or you have a question, call me. It's always the best way to reach me. I was talking to Jason last night at 8 o'clock. He said, "Oh man, I'm sorry to call you. It's late." It's like, hey, that's all good. So that's what I'm here for. Seriously. So it's all good. So thanks for that. And thanks for the flexibility when it's so busy like this to know that I haven't forgotten about you, but I don't ever mean to delay anything, but it's just one of those things that sometimes things take a little bit longer than I would like. So thanks for that. So I received a package in the mail yesterday for some of our awards. Usually we get those at our sales conference, but one of the awards that we got was for, I think it was top 3 market share in the whole company for our size office for Suffolk. So this is your award, really. This is Suffolk's award, so congratulations. This will be, when I come back to the office, we'll put this in the office somewhere to present it. So thanks for your support for 2020. We're already tracking really well for 2021. So thanks for your support. Thanks, Jason, to you for your everything you do to support core services for all of us. So real quick, as far as housekeeping things, rates are kind of staying in check to a degree from last time we talked, still in the mid to high 2s for government and in the low 3s for conventional. So hopefully we can kind of sit there and stabilize at that level for a while. I think we'd all like them not to continue to move up significantly, but the overall trend is going to be going up over the year. We just don't know how quickly and how much. So we'll keep an eye on that and we'll let you know how that progresses. We're having a really good rollout of one of our new programs, which is the FHA 0% down program. One thing I'll say about it is the rates are higher than the standard FHA program. So we have to keep that in mind of whether or not it's worth it for the borrower, as opposed to going with a little bit lower rate. Again, down payment assistance just isn't right for everybody. That's true in any case, but we always are going to look at the option to see if it's something that works for our clients. Mid-March, Fannie Mae rolled out a new update to their decision engine, which is basically, it's an automated program that we use to run people's information through. And honestly, all lenders, including us, are slaves to this engine. So what it basically means is we input the information into this computer system, and it's a big black box, right? So the information you put in, it spits out an answer. Does your loan kind of meet the parameters or not? And for a lot of loan programs, it requires that you have an automated approval. So you want to, you'll hear a lender say, it's not giving me an approve eligible. It's giving me a refer. Refer means, it doesn't mean it's a denial. It just means the system's not generating automatic approval. And as a loan officer, you get pretty good of knowing when you're inputting someone's information as far as what you think it's going to pop and approve or not. And it's seldom that you're surprised. And then even when you are, you think that you can mess with a couple things to pop the approval back. So, but with this new iteration of the update that Fannie Mae pushed out, loans with higher loan to values, which means basically less money down. So for example, this FHA no money down program have had higher instances of not pulling an approval. Okay, and that could be they've decided that the risk threshold, they've deemed it a higher, there's higher issuances or more people are defaulting on loans with higher loan to values, or they think the market's inflated, so they think people are going to be too underwater. You don't know the rationale. I think one of the big things is they changed the way that they have identified the risk as far as the borrower's credit mix. So they think that if you have a more blended use of credit, so instead of just having installment loans or just credit cards, you having a mix is a good sign for people as far as utilization of credit. So what that's doing is we just have to be a little bit tighter on what seems to be the housing expense for the front end ratio. So all that to say, utilizing the first time home buyer program, it's an option for a lot of people, but we may not now be pulling an approval for as many people as we were even a month ago at this point. But that's going to be continuously updated, and they could realize that they've overcompensated and try to pull back a little bit. But Fannie Mae is trying to be very proactive in staying ahead of the curve from a risk threshold. Another thing I wanted to mention today is they came out and kind of said, hey, for all lenders, they want to limit the percentage of loan purchases that are investment or second home. They love primary residences. They prefer those. That's their goal is to kind of provide primary home ownership to the country, with the secondary investment property market being a secondary focus. But what they want is they want to limit their exposure because they feel like that's the bigger risk. And this is, so, I don't know if they're looking at the tea leaves, what that means, but how that's impacting the market is lenders, if they say, okay, well, if the maximum threshold of 8% of your total loans that you sell to Fannie and Freddie are non-primary, I guess like their max cap for on an ongoing basis that they'll buy, anything over that cap, they won't purchase. And if you can't sign a loan to Fannie or Freddie, you don't have anything to sell. It's pretty much scratch or dent, and you'll have to you make much less money on those loans. So that is going to impact consumers in the following way. You're going to have companies increase their pricing on second homes and investment properties significantly with an attempt to slow the flow of those programs. Okay, that's a way to just reduce it. Hey, if we're not really that competitive in that space, it kind of fixes itself because we just won't win as many deals, and we're okay with that. And then going forward, we'll adjust it as needed to kind of see where we've kind of fall within the threshold of our percentages of those kind of products. We're so big that it's not really that big of an issue. We are primarily a primary residence purchase lender, and that's what we are. We're in-house, but we've decided not to apply any loan level pricing adjusters to secondary or investment properties on our end. But you will see out there a huge swing lender to lender for secondary and investment property pricing that can impact your clients looking for those kind of properties. So it's an interesting update to the market that we're keeping an eye on to see how competitive we are in the space and what this overall means to the secondary and investment property market. So I don't know if it's a way for them to try to slow down the market a little bit. If they think inventory is too tight, what can they do? Is to slow down the pace of the secondary and the investment market slightly. Maybe that's their goal. I'm not really sure, but something to keep an eye out on. So other than that, I do want to plan a training with you guys, just maybe an overall just kind of discussion of some topics. And I don't know if we can do it during one of these time slots, or if we want to schedule another time to schedule a get together virtually, maybe do some sort of financing Jeopardy or some sort of discussion on some topics that you guys want to have us discuss. So
Mortgage 101.
Mortgage 101 or 202 or whatever you guys want to do. So it can be an open house style, or we can have a presentation, or you can do the Jeopardy and kind of leave it open to questions about some of the points that we discuss, and it could be kind of something like that. So I definitely would like to do that. I'll talk to Jason about setting that up, putting that on the calendar. So be on the lookout for something like that. But that's it. That's all I have right now. Does anyone have any questions about anything?
So the mortgage market continues to be fluid and changes a little bit in some way every day.
Yep.
So just probably need to be aware of that and keep an eye on what's going. And so for those weekly updates, we can thank John for being here. Appreciate it. Hey, I sent you a buyer the other day, and he was absolutely committed to Veterans United. Pre-approval letter in hand. He had already talked with a couple of other lenders and decided, I'm going to go with Veterans United. And then I talked to him the next day, and he says, no, John approved me. I already sent him all my stuff, pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, everything. John's good. So how did you pull that off? What happened there?
I told him I'd give him $500 if he wanted me. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. I think I treat people like obviously how I would, if I, as a customer, how I would want to be treated. I know that sounds kind of silly, but the keys are in a roundabout way, not bashing the competition, but asking questions about things that did the other loan officer discuss this with you? Did they give you estimates? Did they mention this or that? And when they say, no, they really didn't do that, or no, they didn't even mention that. All they told me was, I'm good, and here's the rate, and that's it. And when you start getting into the details, I'm not trying to sow doubt into their mind about the other lender, but I just want to make sure that they're all, at the end of the day, that they're comparing apples to apples. That's what I really care about. So, for example, for that client, they had pre-approved him for an FHA loan, but they didn't send him an estimate. And he's like, well, yeah, I don't have to put any money down. I was like, well, if it's just a standard FHA loan, then you will. So, have you did they send you numbers? All this good stuff. And I think what it did was it basically opened up his mind to say, well, no, they didn't. They kind of just didn't give me that information. So he felt more comfortable with me because I proactively maybe answer questions that he didn't think to ask. And I think at the end of the day, hold on one second. This is a client that has been trying to reach. So, the warm handoff from you guys is worth its weight in gold. That connection, because real estate in general has unfortunately become less person-to-person oriented. The only kind of contact is the agent. Everything else is they're looking online. They're talking to lenders over the phone, like me, and you guys are meeting with them. They trust you. They are investing emotionally in you guys. So when you, as an agent, say, "Hey, you got to talk to my loan officer. I've been working with them. I trust him. I know him." That level of confidence is so high as far as like the translation to me, that all I have to do is kind of be professional and be competitive, and we usually win the deal, because we are usually much more competitive than other lenders. We try to be not just use us because we're in-house, but because we're really good. So long story short is I just be myself and follow up, and the combination with your support and you, Jason, or any of the agents is really what just cements it, because it just makes it easier for everybody. There's more accountability, right? If they know that I'm working with you, if I can't just not answer the phone, there's just that kind of level of trust. And one thing I just want to mention, I forgot to say before, this is the last thing I'm going to say, because I know we're running long on time. any PICRA negotiations or any change of the contract afterwards, please put any changes to the terms of the contract. Don't put them on the PICRA itself. Try to put on a separate addendum that just says, hey, all parties agree to change price from X to Y, or all parties agree to change closing costs from $0 to $4,000. Instead of, if you put on the PICRA and there's something on there that you put on the home inspection that references some sort of issue, even though it's crossed out, if the underwriter sees it, it can open up Pandora's box. So just, it's going to save you time. It's going to kind of prevent potential issues. Please put in a separate addendum. It can accompany your PICRA, but just send me the addendum simply saying with the changes, and you don't have to reference the reason why you made the change in the addendum. I know you're trying to say, well, in lieu of replacing roof that's leaking, seller agrees to give buyer $5,000 in closing cost assistance. Well, you can't not look at that first sentence if I'm an underwriter, right? So just be thoughtful, put your, how does this impact me lending wise, hat on, and be thoughtful as far as that goes. I know it's easy just to put it on the PICRA, but it ends up creating much more issues. So sorry to sidetrack and regress there, but
Great. Good reminder. Yeah. So absolutely. We don't talk about that very often, but that's a really, really good reminder. So cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time today, John, Brian, Dawn. Thank you guys very much. So I'm going to get over and do some screen sharing now, and just share a couple of things with you guys that I think is going to be fun and interesting and important. And so first and foremost, let's see if you see this. So you guys should have received this email yesterday, looks like around 4:41, from Boomer and Gary. And so I would encourage you to go back and look at this email if you have not yet, and get registered for the upcoming Long & Foster first ever inaugural annual all members summit. So coming up May 6th, it's going to be a big event. It's going to be from 9 to 2:45. Obviously it's virtual, but they do have a couple of guest speakers coming, some keynote speakers, and there's going to be all sorts of fun and games, and they're going to try to make it as interesting and cool as possible for all of us. And so if you have not yet registered, please do that. I think it'd just be cool to have a really nice showing from the crew here in Suffolk. So let me see if I do this. Can you see this new page? I don't know what I'm sharing right now.
No,
It says the summit.
yeah, you haven't changed.
It hasn't changed. Okay.
No.
All right. So, all right, let me go back and grab that other page. So here we go. So if you click on the registration link, then this is the page that you'll come to. And here they have the agenda all mapped out. They have, some information about the keynote speakers, the times that these gentlemen will be speaking, which I thought was kind of neat. This guy happens to have a restaurant in Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is actually
Awesome.
that's where I grew up. So I thought that was pretty neat. Let's see. So I showed you the email. You guys should have that from yesterday. Also, too, I wanted to share with you this. So this is coming up as well on April 8th. So this is tomorrow, technically. It's from 11 in the morning to 5:30. If you register, then obviously you'll get the recording. Everybody who is not Long & Foster has to pay for their ticket. It's a $50 ticket. Or you can click this link and get it for $25. But because we're with Long & Foster, and Gary Scott and Boomer Foster are guest speakers at this Spring into Action event with Risk Media, we don't have to pay for it. So again, I would encourage you to go ahead and sign up. That way you can get the recordings for free. And so you should have gotten this email. Hopefully you see this. So this was an email that came out March 15th. And at the very top of the email was an opportunity for us to register for free by clicking here. And so hopefully you guys can go back in your email, your Long & Foster email, and look at March 15th and find this registration link, because I have not been able to find this link anywhere else. So it may be out there, and if you just can't find it, let me know, and maybe I can forward you my email here. But this is the only place that I could find where we could register as free from as Long & Foster agents. So April 8th, Boomer will speak on the state of the real estate market at 12:30, and Gary will speak on competing against portals like Zillow and Homes.com, etc., iBuyers, and more. So definitely, if you can't tune into it live, get the recording. I think it's going to be a good event. It should be fun, and definitely interesting. So I did want to bring that to your attention and make sure that you go back and find those emails. If you can't find them, let me know, and I'll send you the ones that I have so that you can get registered for those and watch those recordings. Cool. All right, I got one more thing I want to share with you guys here, and this is something that probably we don't talk about enough, and that is the opportunity that exists in outgoing referrals. You know, here in Hampton Roads, we're blessed to be surrounded by military. Military come and military go, right? And so if we can maintain and nurture those relationships with our clients, our sphere of influence, friends, family, whoever they happen to be, whenever they make a move somewhere in the world, doesn't matter if it's in-state, out-of-state, in-country, or somewhere else, you have an opportunity to pair them up with a well-qualified real estate agent in whatever area of the country or world they happen to be moving to. And so I feel like because we don't talk about it, we may be missing a lot of opportunities to benefit from the network that we belong to. And so Long & Foster, as part of Home Services of America, as well as one of the founding members of leading real estate companies of the world, we have an incredible, diverse network of other companies that we can reach out to if we have someone moving out of state or away from our specific service area. And so I've got this little PowerPoint here, just a few minutes. I want to scroll through it just so that I can plant the seed with you and give you some indication as to how this works should you know someone who's moving out of our service area. And so this is the plan for today. They even have an app now. This app is brand new, but it's an outgoing referral app. Literally, you can put it on your smartphone, and so you can access the leading real estate companies of the world membership directory, so you can find other companies that are part of our network. You can also search for other Home Service of America real estate brokerages by state, because as a subsidiary of Home Services of America, obviously there is a huge network across the country that we can participate in. And so this slide goes into a little more detail about how to go about downloading and saving this app on the desktop of your smartphone so that you can easily send an outgoing referral. This is what it would look like. And I can send you guys this if you'd like to refer back to it. But I'm also going to show you where you can go in the cafe and get more information. So Home Services of America Broker Network, they did 349,000 transactions, $137 billion in sales with 879 offices and 42,600 real estate agents. And so this is the network that we belong to. So don't ever feel like, you need to go on Zillow and read somebody's reviews in order to find a potential referral partner. It's much, much easier than that for us. And so this is Home Services of America's corporate location map. Long & Foster is, if not the biggest, one of the biggest companies currently held by Home Services of America. you can see that we cover the Eastern region. Okay. Leading Real Estate Companies of the World is a company that Wes Foster actually was one of the founding members of. And so we have been a part of Leading RE since its foundation, since its beginning. It has grown into a network of 565 companies around the world, 4,300 offices in over 70 countries. So it doesn't matter where your client is going, almost. With 130,000 sales associates as part of Leading Real Estate Companies of the World. And you can see that as a part of this network, Long & Foster being one of the founding partners and companies in this network, Leading Real Estate Companies of the World sells more real estate than any other company, hands down, bar none. So you can see all of the different competitors here, but Leading RE by far surpasses them all. And so just want you guys to have some confidence in that and in the networks that you belong to. So if you're talking with someone who's moving to Hawaii or Alaska or Mexico or someplace else, you can help them and you can get paid for it. So, if you go into the cafe, they've got all sorts of promotional resources. You know, I know of agents who intentionally advertise in other geographic locations around the country as a method of creating a lead that they can give to another agent and collect a referral fee. In fact, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's a term called expansion teams or expansion agents. And that is essentially agents who choose to pay for advertising in areas that they do not serve in order to generate leads that they can give away to other agents in exchange for a referral fee. They literally do this on purpose. And so if you'd like to, investigate that a little further, they've got all sorts of promotional materials, and you could probably look up the term expansion team or expansion agents and find more information about that. Contact a referral coordinator right there on your phone. So this is an example of the Leading Real Estate Companies of the World. Because we belong to Leading RE as a founding member, our contract to them says that we will pay them for any referral fee that we receive. And so this is an example of how that would work then. And so basically, the agreement is that we will collect a 30% referral fee. So if you send out a referral to somebody in Texas, it's in your best interest to tell that agent that you need a 30% referral fee. As such, hypothetically, that referral fee was $1,000. So you're going to make $1,000. Because we're part of the Leading RE network, they're going to take 20% of that, $200. So your commission then is $800. And so that's how the Leading RE fee and commission split work, which is still better than maybe having only charged a 25% referral fee to begin with. So here is a little more descriptive language of the example that they used in this particular case. So it says, I just want to read a little bit of this to you. Long & Foster is contractually required to pay the Leading RE network on any referral check it receives from a broker outside of our company, even if it is within our footprint. That means that when an agent sends a referral to a local company where we had Long & Foster coverage, we must still pay the network. So it would be far more financially beneficial to send to a Long & Foster office, as well as supporting our company brand versus another. I think that's common sense, right? The fee due to the network is 20% of a 30% referral fee, regardless of what is charged. And then if we jump down here, it says one of the issues that this creates is when a Long & Foster agent places referral business both within and without our footprint to a competing brand, but they only request 25% referral fee or less. If the other company is not part of Leading RE, we have no recourse but to charge the agent for the shortage, so that we can pay the full network fee of the 30%. So this is where we've had some issues in the past, become a little uncomfortable. And so I think this is something maybe that I want to remember to talk about so that there are no surprises. It is in our best interest if you can collect a 30% referral fee when sending referrals around the world. If you do that, everything's kosher. If you can't collect the 30%, then you're going to incur a little increased reduction from your commission, because we contractually are obligated to pay leading RE, or the network. So you can go into the cafe and you can find out all of this information. It's all in there, how it works and how to go about it. You can place an outgoing referral through Foster and or through the cafe. There's a link at the bottom of Foster for outgoing referrals. It's really easy. I've done it. I've collected checks for people in Texas and in Michigan, and it's fantastic. So I would encourage you to try it. If you know of a company, this is a whole different ballgame right here. But let's say, for example, your friend owns, I don't know, a construction company, and they have 100 employees, and they don't currently have any type of relocation program for their employees. You could be the lead agent in helping them set up a relocation company or a relocation program for their 100 employees. And as such, you could be compensated a little bit with each transaction that comes out of that deal. So that's well beyond my pay grade. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, we'll have to find somebody else for you to talk to. Cool. Does that make sense, guys? Is that helpful? Cool. So I really want you to know that there is a tremendous opportunity out there for us in the world of referrals. You can still collect a commission no matter where your people are going. So always keep that in mind, as we are blessed again to be surrounded by the military here. We have a lot of these existing relationships that could be paying us. Moolah, moolah, moolah. All right, that's all I had for you. Anybody want to say anything? Oh, let me tell you. So I was talking to this future agent the other day on the phone, and she said she's not with us yet, but she's in the licensing process. And so she was at the PSI testing center, and Randall, you probably know right where she was. So she was standing outside of the PSI testing center waiting for her ride to get there, when another lady approached her, was getting ready to go into the building. And for whatever reason, they just happened to strike up a conversation. Well, through that conversation, our future agent determined that this person she was talking to has a house to sell and is looking for a realtor to help her. Literally, am not making this up. So our future agent got her first client standing on the steps of the PSI testing center. And now so I'm going to help her in the interim because she missed the PSI exam by one question. So she's devastated, but she has scheduled to retake the exam as soon as possible. And so in the interim, I'm going to help her with this particular client. And then of course, we'll switch everything right over to this brand new agent who we suspect will pass the test and join us very, very soon. But talk about falling out of the sky, right? I mean, the market is so insane now that almost everybody you talk to has some knowledge or interest in either buying or selling. Either they've done it already or they're thinking about doing it. And I've heard some really crazy stories. So if you have any crazy stories to share, this would be an awesome time to do it. Tell us. This is that awkward silence that Kurt, talks about.
Hey, Jason, I just got the email for that summit thing,
Okay.
like at 12:09.
Oh, so they
Register.
revamped it. That's excellent. That's excellent. Oh, is that the Long and Foster one? Or is it, because there's two, right?
There's,
There's one tomorrow and then there's one in May.
I think it's the one tomorrow that's free for Long and Foster agents.
Hmm. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's the Spring into Action event by Risk Media. So that should be really fun. So, all right, y'all. If you need me, you know how to get me. Call me, text me, email me. I'm always here, always available, and always happy to help.
Woohoo!
Did you guys notice I forgot my lines last week? Oh, it's so funny. All right, guys, be good. Have a great week. Talk to you later.
All right.